because I'm actually pretty satisfied. I'm pretty happy with them. What's going on, YouTube? It is Sharon Shante back with another video. It's like, no. If this is your first time here, welcome to my channel. If not, welcome back. Thank you for coming back. So I am here with another hair tutorial. So I'm not a hairstylist, as I've told y'all before. So I don't really know what I'm doing. I just be seeing certain styles and I'm like, yo, I could probably do that. And then I get on YouTube and I see a little tutorial and then I come home and I try it. So basically that's what I did. So as you guys can see, I have like the Chunky Faux Loc Bob. I know for sure that we're calling these chunky because they're a little bigger instead of like jumbo. They're not jumbo, they're chunky. And then like the little bob look. So I was really nervous to try this look just because I kind of just err on the side of longer hair. So I was like, I'm not really sure how these shorter ones are going to look, but I actually really like them so far. And the style itself, I probably started around 4:30-ish, and it's now 9 o'clock and I'm just finishing. So the style took about 4.5 hours, which isn't that bad considering the fact that I have longer hair and I have a lot of hair. And so those are two things that I definitely want to like touch on, especially the longer hair, because as you can see, I have a bob and my real hair is actually longer than this bob. So I'm going to be showing you guys how I accomplished that look. First, let me tell you guys what I used. So unfortunately, I already started ripping through everything, did my whole head, threw all the packages in the trash. So I'm going to leave the names of everything in the description below. But I will say that I did use this to wrap my twist or to wrap my locks. So it's called Mojo Locs and it's Afri Natural. Something like that. This is what she looked like. This is what the package looks like. And this is an 18 inches. I don't think it really matters. It's a crochet, the crochet hair. And then obviously I used a crochet latch. And then I use my Marley hair, a little bit of Marley hair. So with the Marley hair, you may or may not need it, actually. Just make sure you get it just in case. And then I use my regular braiding. Basically, what I did was the method that I used was, which I'm about to show you, but I'll just quickly talk you through it. So basically, I braided my real hair with a piece of the braiding hair, this hair. And then I went through and I wrapped each twist or each braid. I don't know why I keep calling them twists, but I wrapped each one with a piece of this Marley, with the Mojo Locs hair. So these are basically crochet locks that come in a packet. And if you wanted to just crochet some locks in your hair, they're already locked. All you got to do is crochet it in. I did not use the actual crochet lock, but I did use this hair. And I can say that I've done my hair before in faux locks and I did all Marley hair around it, right? So I only twisted it with the Marley hair. I found this method to be a lot easier. And I also like the way this hair looks because it has a little silkier look opposed to the really nappy Marley look. So yeah, so let me show you. So I done my whole head and I left out this one little piece here. So I will show you guys how I did this one. And the one thing about the chunkier ones, I feel like the hardest thing is figuring out exactly how to part it. Because you want it to be chunkier, but like not too chunky, and you want the part. That was difficult for me. But, you know, whatever. Just got it done. So, and I'm also using the Murray's Edge Wax. And so this is the same edge wax. If you watch my Passion Twist video, I use this same edge wax. It's not the same bottle. I went and bought a new one. But I just actually like the way it like helped me bind my hair together when I did the Passion Twist. So I figured it would be a good thing to use again this time. So basically, I'm just putting a little bit of the Murray's. My hair is already washed, moisturized, and all that other good stuff. But I'm just putting a little bit of the Murray's moisturizer. The Murray's wax in my hair just to kind of help it come together when I braid it. Now, let me just do a little comb here. So now I'm going to take the braiding hair. And so because I want these to be short, I didn't really have to do much with this. I didn't like, you don't really have to kind of like make the edges, you know, jagged or like uneven or whatever. Usually you do that when you want to add length, but it's up to you. And so basically I'm going to take these two pieces of hair. Of course, this be difficult. So I'm going to take my braiding piece of hair. The lighting is getting a little weird, but I'm going to take my braiding piece of hair and I'm just going to hold it on each end. I'm going to take my hair and put it in the middle as the third piece. And then just start braiding using your hair as the third piece. So instead of doing like a, sometimes you know how, sometimes you could split the hair when you're about to do box braids. But instead I didn't do that. And I didn't do that for a reason here. So if you guys just watch. And I'm just going to braid this down. And I'm going to braid it down a pretty good bit, actually. And so one of the things that I want to point out is that your braids and your, like, it doesn't have to be super tight. Like, a lot of times when we want our hair to look good and we want it to be in for a minute, we automatically go for super tight. And that is not necessary with this style, not at all. Even this braid, like this right here, I'm not doing it tight at all. Just kind of like loosely braiding down. And so this color that I'm using right now is 1B to match my real hair. And then for the twist or for the locks, I used 4 and 30. So I'm just going to braid this down. And so right about here, right? So my twist is, my braid or my lock is going to stop right here. So right about here, I am actually going to, so that third piece of hair, which is my hair, I'm going to separate that out. I'm going to put it in my mouth. And then I'm going to braid the other two pieces. Finish braiding the other two pieces. Enough, actually more than enough. And so now that that's braided down, now I'm going to take my piece of the real piece of hair, like my hair, and I'm just going to flip it up. And that's because my hair is longer than the bob. So I can't have my real hair sticking out, obviously. So I got to do like a fold up method. And the reason, another reason why I'm separating my real hair from this hair is because at the ends, I'm going to put a little bit of glue as well as probably light it. And I don't want to be putting glue on my real hair or lighting it on fire. So I take this piece, which is my real hair, put a little bit of Murray's wax on my fingers, like kind of like a lot. Get that all nice and waxed, and then I'll wrap my real hair around this, and I just wrap it up until it doesn't wrap anymore. So you guys see, I'm literally just wrapping my hair upward. And so I put the rubber band there so I know where it's separated at. I flipped it up, and then I just started wrapping. And so now I have all of this left. So now I'm going to decide where I want this last dread to end. I think about here. So now I'm going to flip that part up. And the reason why you're doing that, and the reason why you're flipping up is because you want the end of your dread, since these aren't goddess locks where it's curly at the end, you don't want the end of your dread to look all jagged. You want it to have like a nice little even end to it. So you flip that up. And so it'll basically have this little ball that these all had. And so now that that's flipped up, that's basically where my dread is going to end. Now I'm just going to take it and I'm going to cut off everything else after my rubber band. And so this is what I'm left with. This is the braid. I have my real hair tucked up there and wrapped around. I have the end of the braid tucked up to be the end of my dread. And then now I am going to take my Marley hair. I'm going to take the lock hair and my crochet. So now I'm going to take my crochet hook and the lock the crochet lock. So the lock that's already been crocheted, I bought it this way. I'm going to put this through. I'm going to put my lock in there, close it, pull it through. I've been having trouble with this crochet hook all night, I swear. It's like the later it gets, the worse it gets. So now I'll just do it like a typical crochet. Take that, put this through, and pull it as tight as I can. All right. And so here, so now basically what I'm going to do is, so this lock is already pre-dreaded. And so basically what you need to do is you need to find which direction these are twisted, because this is basically synthetic hair that's already been pre-twisted, right? So basically you need to figure out which direction it's been twisted. So whatever direction it's twisted, if it's twisted left, or I'm sorry, right, or if it's twisted left, you need to go the opposite direction to uncoil it, to untwist it. So in this case, this one was twisted right. So now I'm going to kind of like, if you can see, so this is the twist already. And basically I'm going to take my hand and I'm going to twist it the opposite direction so it opens up. As it opens up, I'm going to wrap it around my braid. And this is a little harder to explain, but as you do it, I promise you, it makes sense. You'll feel it. You'll feel the hair opening up and you'll know that, okay, it's time to wrap. Also, this part, one of the things that I noticed is that the looser you twist this part, the looser your dreads will be, so they won't be super tight. Now mine, I will admit, I still have some tight pieces because some of them I had to wrap like extra. So basically if I ran out of this hair, that's when I would use the Marley hair. So for some of them, the longer ones, I ran out of like this hair. Like this hair was basically too short, so I had to add Marley hair. And now I feel like once I started adding the Marley hair on some of them, I feel like they got a little more tight and stiff. But whatever, it's all good. And so I'm just going to do this all the way down to the bottom. And make sure that when you get to the very bottom, that you completely wrap it around so it covers your rubber band that's at the end. And so that's it. So it's kind of like lightly wrapped, not too tight, but tight enough to the point where nothing is showing. I made sure that the base was covered. I made sure the rubber band was covered. And that is that. So that's a look, ladies and gentlemen. That is the look. I'm actually really pleased with how these came out. I honestly was, like I said, so nervous. I did not know how that was going to work. And so basically, if you notice, like for this one, I didn't do anything with it. So I do have my super glue. Yes, I use super glue because I ran out of nail glue. And then I also have my lighter. And so basically just a few pieces around, like if I saw that, like basically the ones that I use the Marley hair to wrap at the end, those were the main ones that I had to go through and put a little bit of glue and then light it. These that I used the pre-locked hair, because it was coiled so well and twisted so well, when I wrapped it around my real hair, it kind of just like wrapped and stayed. So I haven't experienced any of those kind of like coming unraveled or anything like that. So I just left them alone. I just wanted them to look, you know, as natural as possible. And if it wasn't broke, I ain't fix it. Now, throughout the week, if I feel that any of them are like unraveling more on the ends, then I'll go through and I'll add that. So basically with that process, what you want to do is you'll take a little bit of glue, you'll add it to the very end, the very tip of your dread. You'll wrap the hair around it, and then you'll do like a palm roll like that. And then that should be good. That should be all you have to do. And you want to do that to kind of like basically keep the lock in place, keep it from unraveling. And usually, like I said, if you use if you use any sort of like pre-locked hair, I'm pretty sure you won't really need to do that, just because the hair is already so soft and it's already pre-curled. So it kind of automatically wraps around your hair without ever unraveling. So yeah, so that is it. So I don't need to do anything else. I do think that the hair is still just a little stiff, just in certain areas, a little more stiff than I like it to be. So I plan to like put my scarf on a little bit just to like lay it down a little bit more tonight. And then hopefully the rest of it will kind of like loosen up as the days go on, obviously. But like I said, I'm really pleased with these. I wasn't really sure how they were going to come out. I keep seeing people with them and I think they're just so cute. And I was like, oh my gosh, how is it going to look on me? But I think they turned out well. So I'm satisfied. And like I said, the colors that I use, so this color here is a 30 and this color here is black. I'm sorry, is a 4. And then one of the crochet locks that I got, so this one here actually, if you can see, it's in a 1B30. So it was like a mix of colors. And so the lock came that way, mixed with the colors. And so as I wrapped it around my hair, I don't know if there's any of them that I can just pull out right away. But as I wrapped those around my hair, pretty much like the color kind of like I think this might be one. So the color kind of did this. So it wasn't as ombre, like black to light. It was more like, it was kind of like a mix-in kind of thing. So if you like the mixed-in look, they look a little bit more like this, then I would say get the mixed color. If you want it to look a lot more ombre, I would say to just get one color, and like get 2 different colors. You can wrap the beginning of your hair with one and then wrap the last part of your hair with another. Like that's kind of how I did these. And really I did these like this only because I ran out of hair. But if you could see, it kind of has more of like an ombre look. So yeah, that is it. So this took me a total of like 4 hours, 4.5 hours. And by the time I got everything, it was about $50 later. Honestly, I got 2 packs of the Marley hair, one in the 30, one in the 4. And I have a plenty left over on both of those, like a lot of hair left over. So I probably could have got 1 pack if I was using one color, and I probably still wouldn't have went through that whole pack. And then with the crochet hair, so I got 2 and 2. So I got 2 that was the 1B30 mix, and then I got 2 that was a straight 4. And I have a good amount of those left over as well. The braiding hair, so I got the pack of braiding hair. It's just like a regular pack of braiding hair at your local beauty store. I went for the cheapest one I could find, and it had like 3 little bundles inside of it, so I used 2 of those bundles. So I didn't use too much hair. I did buy way more hair than I needed, per usual. I always do it, but better safe than sorry. And yeah, that is it. That is a look. And these are inspired by, can't think of her name on Instagram, but I'm going to link it at the bottom. I'm going to put her name down at the bottom because y'all got to go check her out and then tell me if I got close enough.